Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Doc Rivers is our doctor. He writes out all of our scripture. He gives us all of our medicine in our room. We are live. The Cream City crossover 124-109. The Milwaukee Bucks win their season opener against the Philadelphia 76ers. It's the Guru Trey Crosby III.
And JT, that was a nice hymnal that you sang to bring us in. You brought that was like church style, no music. We just stopped playing the organ, folks, and stomping their feet, keeping that beat going.
Chris
Open
King.
the doors, it's getting hot in here.
Everybody in the building. We should have our guy Justin should be joining us in a second here if we can get his stuff going. But again, 124-109. Welcome to the regular season edition, season 2 of the Cream City crossover. Again, we're taking your comments, everything after a 124-109 win over the Philadelphia 76ers. Take your comments in the YouTube chat. We're taking your comments on Twitter or X, if that's what you want to call it, at TCIIIESQ. We'll read them. But the Bucks win it 124-109. And you know what they say, JT? You know what they say?
What they say?
You can't go 82-0 unless you start off 1-0, and the Bucks get off to a 1-0 start on a Wednesday night. Short-handed 76ers, no Embiid, no Paul George. We'll talk about that, but let's get into it. The game recap tonight from a big-time victory. The Bucks led by double figures the entire second half. Really, after the first quarter, they were in full control. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 25, 14, and 7. He was 8 of 11 from the field. Free throws, a little rough. He was 9 of 16, but outside of that, and gave the fans in Philly a lot of free food. But outside of that, he was pretty good. Damian Lillard, 38 minutes tonight, looking like Portland Dame, 30 points, 9 boards, 6 assists, 9 of 19, 6 of 12 from 3. That's the Damian Lillard we want to see. He was excellent tonight, a plus 19 on the floor. You look at Gary Trent Jr., a new addition to the Bucks, 11 points, 2 boards. And how about Tauren Prince? In 30 minutes, 16 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 6 of 7 from the field. He was 4 of 5 from 3. Again, you can't beat that. Great defense from Prince. Great defense from Gary Trent Jr. Brooke Lopez, 10 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. He was 3 of 11 from the field and 1 of 6 from 3, so the shot wasn't falling. But my goodness, you know how many blocks that man had? I don't even see it. I don't have the blocks. I think he had like 7 blocks tonight, 7 blocks tonight. He's 6 blocks and 6 assists. First person to do that for the Milwaukee Bucks since Giannis Antetokounmpo back. It's been a while since somebody's had 6 blocks and 6 assists in the same game for the Bucks. How about Bobby Portis off the bench, puts up 16, 3 and 3, 2 steals and 1 block as well. Bobby Portis had 11 points in the first half. I mean, as soon as he got into the game, he was cooking. He was ready in 25 minutes. How about Pat Connaughton? 9 points, 4 boards. He looked pretty good tonight as well. DeLon Wright with 2 points, and AJ Green. I think you mentioned he might have been injured, didn't score, but he got in the game for a second there in the first half and then did not return. And Tyler Smith puts up 5 points. And the rest of the Bucks young boys and some of the G League type players got into the game to finish it up in garbage time. You look on the other side of Philadelphia 76ers, 10 points, 13 boards, a double-double for Andre Drummond, 21 from Kelly Oubre. Eric Gordon had 2 points. Tyrese Maxey, 25, 6, and 3. But here's the thing, 25 and 6. You know, it's not a bad night. Gary Trent Jr. made that man work. He was 10 of 31 from the field. So 25 points on 31 shots. Not very good. 10-31 was almost like shooting like it's Halloween out there because that's what it looked like. Caleb Martin with 12 points. Yuba Sele looking like a Sime Ojale type of player. He doesn't even look like I won't talk about him. He don't look like a real basketball player. He doesn't look like he belongs in the NBA, running around, kind of out of shape, just knocking people down. He looks like a bull in the china shop. So I just call him 28 from now on. And then Kyle Lowry with 13 points, 4 boards, 6 assists. I can't stand Kyle Lowry, but you know, he was out there. He hit some shots. But a 124-109 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'll just go what I saw tonight early on in this basketball game. I saw a basketball team that was committed to defense. The first quarter offensively, shaky. The guys just not hitting shots, but the offense will come. But defensively, I mean, Tauren Prince all over the floor. Gary Trent Jr. all over the floor. You like what you saw, and Brook Lopez was all over the floor. My only complaint was really, if you look at if you want me to get a complaint, was rebounding the basketball. The Bucks just did not do a good job on the glass, on the defensive glass, and you have to realize that defense can be good. Finishing out possessions is good, but you have to finish out possessions with the defensive stop. And with the rebound, and the possession is not over until you rebound the basketball. My only complaint for the Milwaukee Bucks, but again, as soon as Bobby Portis got in the basketball game, he got in, started hitting shots. And again, we talk about Bobby. The same thing with Damian Lillard. When you play well, I'm all for it. When you don't play well, we're gonna talk about you. And Damian Lillard, when you play well, we're gonna sit there and praise your name. Damian Lillard was great tonight, 39 boards, 6 assists. Can't ask for Damian Lillard to do any better than that. Like I said, look like Portland Dame. But again, you have to make sure you do that. And again, he was excellent tonight. Bobby Portis was excellent, and Giannis kind of controlled the game especially from the elbows. I thought Giannis did a really good job controlling the basketball game. That's a little bit of what I saw. We're gonna get into a lot of it in the 124-109 victory. JT, what'd you see?
Man, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to tell you right now. Last year, I thought Malik Beasley was one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and I saw what he brought to the table in this Bucks team. And I'm going to say that between Prince and Gary Trent Jr., we've upgraded. We've massively upgraded. We went from rocking Cole Haan backpack to Toomey, baby. Yes, sir. We have gone ahead and we have significantly upgraded this team. And again, what these guys do, you got your 3-and-D guys, and I think we cooking on that perimeter. We 100% are doing that. Now, I agree with you on the rebounding side, but the thing that was a little troubling to me, to break it down, it wasn't just it's the offensive rebounding. In that first half, I think we may have gotten maybe 3 or 4 offensive rebounds, which is bad. And that was, I want to say Philly had 3 times the amount of that. That was bad. That was actually a problem for us last year. We were just not a good rebounding team, not on the offensive glass at all. The third thing I saw tonight, hey man, that second and third quarter, you know what that was, Trey?
What's that?
That was belt to ass, baby.
Belt
to ass. We bringing that on back too, right? Pat Bev left the playbook in Milwaukee. Yes, sir. That was belt to ass. That was one of the most. With 36 points in the second and 42 in the third, we haven't seen that kind of offensive explosion at least in a year from this Bucks team. So I was impressed by that. One thing that I was a little concerned with tonight is the young boys. The young Bucks didn't get no burn tonight. I mean, literally, I think A.J. Green led the pack with 4 minutes. Andre Jackson Jr. had one. Ryan Rollins, Johnson had one. Livingston didn't play. Okay, we talked about it's not going to play the young guys. Okay, game one, obviously not. But at some point, we may need those guys to play. But overall, very impressed with our win tonight. And I'll certainly take it because guess what, guys? We want to know.
Yeah, for me, I think, look, this is a good way to start the season. I feel like, having Gary Trent Jr. out there to me was huge because I think last year a lot of times we were so focused on Dame and Giannis creating the offense. We needed them to be their best to even get some flow within that offense. But to have a guy, like I saw there was an instance, I think maybe third quarter, second quarter, where Gary Trent Jr. was actually creating with the ball. He had like a step back shot a 3, made it. And that's what I think we were missing, another on-ball primary scorer. And, when you don't have Khris so much, when he's in and out of the lineup so much, I think it's just very helpful to have a guy who can get his own shot and create his own shot. Tauren Prince, for him to come in and only miss 1 shot in his debut, that says a lot about the player that he is, but it also says a lot how they've been able to gel within, the program throughout the offseason. So I like that they made these additions and they were able to get them well acclimated. And then as far as everything else goes, like it was great to see Dame, shake off the first couple of quarters and then start to fire. Like we want to see that aggressiveness. We would rather him take a ton of shots. And I felt it was more fluid today with Dame and Giannis. Last year we had some instances where it was like, all right, who's going to be the guy tonight? And they didn't really look like they were playing together. But I felt like tonight they just let each other cook, and that's what you need out of 2 top 75 superstars.
Cooking indeed. That's exactly what the Milwaukee Bucks did. Giannis and Dame together. See your comments here. They're rolling in on the Twitter. State of Mind. On the YouTube. State of Mind says, let's get some more likes for a Bucks win. Exactly. Emma Smith says, hey, come on in the room. Got the W. Malcolm Mackis is another season, fellas. Shout out to y'all. And King of King, the boys are back. Al Farouk Aminu for 3. Unfortunately, I missed the game. That's okay because we're here right here at the Cream City Crossover, and we're going to tell you everything that happened tonight and get you up to speed. Coach RJ says, I just want to thank Giannis for the free chicken. Go Sixers. Y'all have a good night. Hey, Coach, you know what happened. I'm sorry about your Philadelphia 76ers. He did get you some chicken, though, with how bad he shot at the free throw line. But that's okay. Listen, he being a good sport about it. And the 76ers couldn't get a dub. That's all right. But, I want to go back to, Chris, your point about Giannis and Dame. And my own, if I were to look, and again, Dame got his own shot. I thought he went well. You know who actually I thought he looked like he connected with even more so than who connected even more so than Damian and Giannis was Damian and Brook. Like Dame and Brook looked like they had a lot of connection going forward, especially with the high ball screen and how Dame was able to get off of that. And again, if you give Dame any amount of space, he's shooting a 3 and he's knocking down a 3. And that was my point so much when I was looking at Dame last year was you don't have to. Like, I think everybody was like, oh, well, Giannis has to screen and pick and roll, and they're not doing a 2-man game. And there was a bit of 2-man game the Bucks did with Giannis and Dame that worked, but a lot of Dame scoring on his own did not happen because like Giannis freed him up, and it was like Dame is a good enough scorer by himself. We saw him do it in Portland. He doesn't need that was my whole mentality about last. He does not need Giannis to get him shots or get him looks. Damian Lillard, when he's taking those threes, he's got to knock them down on his own. And again tonight, 6 of 12, 50%. Hey man, I mean that's what we want to see. He's as good as we saw him. Looked like he was back in the playoffs against the Indiana Pacers before he got hurt. And again, it was just a very very efficient, very good game. And we talked about this, JT, the other day when we're going through it with Justin, that top 25 list in the NBA. And you talked about Tyrese Maxey, who's better, Tyrese Maxey or Dame Lillard. And Damian Lillard went in as a one-on-one performance. And, Damian Lillard, how many times last year did we talk about the Damian Lillard not winning the point guard matchup? And tonight he went out and hands down was the better player than the opposition he matched up against, which was Tyrese Maxey. So that was good to see.
Well, guys, look, we've said this before. In athletics, what's done in the dark always comes to light. And you saw Dame was in the gym this summer. He was training with David Goggins. You saw the videos. He was in the lab. He was really in there cooking. And I think last year was a one-off for him because this year, tonight, he looked a lot more decisive. He looked a lot more explosive. He looked just more like the vintage guy that we've all seen the last X amount of years, especially like you said, Portland Dame was back. So, man, Dame was in the lab. We saw it. We saw the results. We saw the fruits of that man's labor, and I think it's only going to get better this year. Another thing I want to point out, too, because Gary Trent Jr. had some of his best years playing alongside Dame, too. There's a lot of synergy here, a lot of potential for a lot of synergy here in this Bucks 5, and that's something that's going to certainly mean something as we get into we get down the stretch this year for this team.
Yeah, I think making guys better is what Dame is also good at. I think it goes unnoticed a little bit. Just his ability, like today, 9 rebounds. Today, what, seven assists, I think it was, or maybe 6 assists. Yeah, like making guys better because last year there were moments where he wouldn't shoot the ball well, but he would still find a way to, get guys involved. And I think that's an underrated part of his game. And I think we saw that to the max tonight. Him being able to knock down shots, being able to score at a high clip, but then also be able to rebound and do the dirty work, the stuff that wins you basketball games ultimately, and the stuff that we've been trying to find from other people on this Bucks team. For him to be a superstar and to step up and do some of that stuff too is always good.
I'm just looking at the comments. Cream City 1846. He's been a hater. I don't know what's happening with the hate. I wish you said Justin's having some problems getting in. Okay,
yeah.
So I don't know if we're gonna have Justin
problems. We'll get him back.
Okay, Justin would have had something for you, but that's okay. I want to go to the point from Colin Racine where Kyle says, and I think he addresses your point, JT, where he talks about same old story last year with the Young Bucks. Really hope that changes, and I agree to an extent that I do want to see some of that change as far as can the young guys get in the game. But we talked about it again. One of the last preseason shows games that we did where you could tell in a preseason game where you had all the starters out. I think Bobby was out as well. And you could just look at the minutes and go, yeah, these guys ain't going to play. Like you could just tell they were not going to get into the game. Like Andre Jackson Jr. can't play when 6 guys are out in the preseason, gets 5 minutes, 6 minutes in the he's not going to play. And so it's going to be tough for these guys cracking the rotation. And even more so when you think about, the rotation tonight was without Khris. So that was no Khris. Khris was down as well. And you still don't get to see any of these guys, which again, I understand it, and Giannis only plays 31 minutes tonight, so you got to get these wins. But Doc Rivers is, again, he's not going to trust and look at those young players, at least right now. Again, are there going to be times where it comes up and guys are out and we'll get to see them? Yes, but at least for the moment, we're not going to see. I was kind of surprised Philadelphia. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of Jared McCain. He played so well in the preseason, but we didn't. But yeah, I think that's going to be a common theme where we're like, where are the young guys? Where's the youth? And again, it sort of looked like, things we talked about as well, where you're not able to get rebounds. And again, there was some energy kind of plays where like the Bucks kind of trailed off a little bit. Ultimately didn't matter. Again, no Embiid, no Paul George. But I think there'll be games in the future where you're looking at it and go, man, the Bucks need to pick up here in the third quarter, second quarter, needed to run. They didn't have it. But again, tonight, all smiles, 124-109. JT, if you wanted to address that from Kyle, that was, like I said, I agree with him. That was part of, something that we saw, but something that we anticipated we were going to see as well.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I guess the question that I have, though, is if there are if you look at this roster and you look at the young Bucks, right? We'll call them the young Bucks here. If you look at them, I guess who would play? Because obviously, Derrick Bird, AJ Green is the first one you look at. That's the first one you're like, okay, yeah, he should be getting 10. He got 4 minutes tonight, right? Like,
he also came off the bench after it wasn't like and again, I think you did say something happened to him, but it wasn't like he was just in front of Pat Connaughton. Right. Pat Connaughton came in before him and was one of the first ones off the bench after Bobby Portis. So yeah, no, he hadn't earned it, especially for the preseason. Hadn't earned it. Sorry.
And that's what I'm saying, right? So the question you really have is who in that group is even remotely reliable out of the young Bucks at this point? And the short answer is none of them. And that's what's crazy to me is like, okay, AJ Green is the closest to what you've got, but now my point is I think you may have a personnel issue here with the because you can't look at Marjon's direction, right? You can't look at. By the way, Tyler Smith had 2 minutes. Everybody else had 1, right? But whose direction can you look at? Andre Jackson Jr. Do we go back to that? Well, we saw what he did last year. Like you said, Trey, in the preseason, you didn't see it. In the preseason, it looked like he lost some of that gas he had last year. But again, if you need a young guy to play, do we go back to him? Does it become AJ John? Do we give him? Does he get a shot? I don't know. I mean, obviously Livingston, that's not going to happen. Ryan, again, which one of these young Bucks are going to contribute this year is a question that we had in the preseason, and I think that's one we probably will have, for at least a good part of the regular season too.
Well, I think the best part to me about today, in terms of depth, and I think it's a healthy competition between the guys that are coming in on that second unit. Like, I think Pat showed you something tonight where it's like, okay, if we can get this Pat for a lot of games throughout the regular season, he's going to make it hard to even think about putting some of these young cats in. Like, he had that big 3 when we couldn't hit water if we fell out of a boat in the second quarter, so that we were able to kind of create some distance. He had a big dunk. Like, he was very active, moving without the ball. So I think, and you couple that with DeLon Wright. Like, if he's able to play, I didn't think he played the best tonight. I think he was all right. I think he was just out there. But if he's able to kind of keep some of the young guys off the floor because he's just too good and he's undeniable, then that's a very good problem to have at the moment for a championship contender.
100%, and a lot of it was good. And again, to your point, though, to Kyle's point, to your point, JT, I get this. That is a regular season question because in the playoffs, those guys are not going to. I don't believe there's going to be one of those guys that we're going to. If we have to depend on one, something must have went terribly wrong because those guys. When you talk about your top 7, top 8, top 9 guys, those guys are not going to be in it. A couple guys that will as we move along, and I feel like we didn't spend enough time on Dame, so we may come back to it for a second. But I want to talk about Gary Trent Jr. and Tauren Prince, two newcomers to the basketball team. 16, 5, and 3 from Tauren Prince. I thought the defense was outstanding. 6 and 7 from 3. 6 and 7 from the field, 4 or 5 from 3. And then Gary Trent Jr. 2 or 5 from 3, 3 or 6 from the field, 11 points, and made Tyrese Maxey's life a living nightmare as we approach Halloween. Here's what I say on those two guys, man. They did a hell of a job. They came in with a lot of energy. They made this defense look like, and there's a lot of questions on, did Doc really do a lot of the changes to defense? What I saw was as much that, but it was more so, what do we talk about Malik Beasley? And a couple things on Malik Beasley from last year, right? Where I thought Malik Beasley had a lot of activity, but he just couldn't keep his feet in front of guys. I thought he tried really hard. It just didn't come together. Gary Trent Jr., it comes together. I mean, like I said, Tyrese Maxey is a big time player, and they were glazing them for the entire during the entire broadcast. But Richard Jefferson didn't mention it. Doris Burke didn't mention it. And I can't remember who was Mike Breen. They didn't mention that he shot 32% tonight, that he was 10 for 31. They didn't mention that he put up 25 points on 31 shots. I don't feel like that got talked. I don't feel like Gary Trent's defense was talked about enough with how hard he made him work for every single basket. I thought Tyrese Maxey was on the ground a lot. He was just making him work. How many threes Tyrese Maxey had? He was 2 for 9 from 3. Like he just didn't give him open looks. He had to work for everything. He worked for every bit of those 25 points without Joel Embiid. So again, I thought that was a great job from both of those guys. And then you talk about again Malik Beasley, who led the league in 3-point percentage for a large part of last season. The open looks you're going to get when you're playing with a Giannis, when you're playing with a Dame, and Tauren Prince. Again, you're not going to get looks like that. I'm going to say basically anywhere else in the league unless you're playing with some big-time superstars. He got the looks, and when you get him, you got to knock him down. That was the same thing we talked about with Malik Beasley. You get the looks, knock him down. And here's your question, JT. Here's your question. Here's your question, Khris. Are these guys 82-game players or are they 16-game players? And that's what we got to figure out, because that's what we figured out about Malik Beasley real quick, was he was not a 16-game player. He was an 82-game player. Are these guys going to be 16-game players?
Well, at the end of the day, one thing I'll say, and to your point, about Gary Trent Jr., Tauren Prince, and these guys, is remember last year, for the first, I would say 6 months of this, maybe 4 months of the season, point guards were coming into Fiserv Forum and having career days. Point guards were coming in going absolutely crazy. I mean, guys were getting cooked here because that perimeter defense was a legitimate weakness that this Bucks team had. Now looking at this, I mean, it's one game, but that looks like that might be a strength. And you imagine when you start getting to your Jalen Brunson, your Tyler Howard, when them guys come in and they got to work as hard as Maxey works. Oh boy. Now we're really, really, really cooking at that point. Because now you got guys who can't, they don't have to switch it up. They're going to have to rely on somebody else. Whole game plan changes when you have guys on the perimeter that can truly get in you like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's one game, so I want to temper expectations, but I was very, very impressed. And the other thing that I'll throw out too, so you've had PJ Tucker, you've had Patrick Beverley. These are guys who were known for their defensive prowess, and if they gave you something in offense, you were like happy, but you never really expected a whole lot from it. The shooting efficiency between Gary Trent Jr. and Tauren Prince, that's beautiful. I don't need you already got 2 top 75 players that can get up in the double-digit shots. If you can take 5, 6, 7 shots and hit the majority of them, go 60, we good. That's all we need from you. So yeah, I definitely think these pieces fit a lot better than Malik Beasley and Patrick Beverley last year.
To really answer your question, I think if you get Giannis and you get Dame and you get Khris at their best, I don't see a world where you can't just make these guys into 16-game players. Like I saw some good things from Tauren Prince tonight. Just being able to knock down open shots. Yes, we'll need that in the playoffs, but for him to be so active offensively, moving without the ball, getting these offensive rebounds, easy cleanup, putbacks, and cutting back door, and you have the playmakers to make those guys great. And as long as their effort is there, as long as their defensive prowess is there, that we know we're getting with them, I think they can easily turn into 16-game players. But as far as 82-game players go, off to a great start.
Absolutely off to a great start. Want to let everybody know that tonight's program is sponsored by Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Lakeview Boulevard, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They don't close till 2 a.m., so they are open right now. We're letting everybody know that they give away Bucks tickets. Section 102. Listen closely. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2 at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. They give away tickets every Wednesday night for bingo, every Thursday night for trivia. So make sure you get there on Wednesdays and Thursdays as they will have bingo. They'll have trivia, and they're giving away tickets to Bucks games. You got to go to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill and make sure it's your headquarters for Bucks, for all Bucks activity, Bucks action. $3 bottles and pints of Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of Milwaukee Bucks during all televised Milwaukee Bucks games. So if you can't make it out to the arena, If you can't, you just hanging at home, whatever. Hey, go out to Pewaukee, go out to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, get yourself some Michelob Ultra for $3, and enjoy yourself and watch the game there. $3 bottles of pints during all televised Milwaukee Bucks games. Enjoy yourself, fellowship, have some friends and some fun, some drinks at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Good stuff there. So again, let's go
Trey, real quick. I think we got Justin.
We got Justin.
We got Justin.
Justin in here? Do I hear him?
Oh.
We got Justin.
We got Justin in the building.
You're muted. You're muted. There we go. He's muted. We got him. We got him.
Oh man, this is the Microsoft Teams meeting. This is the Microsoft Teams meeting at work. You on mute?
No, we got him though, right?
All right, Justin, come. So I want you to start. Tell me about give me. We didn't get your thoughts. Game recap. It was a big time victory for the Bucks. Let's hear what you think. Thought about this game, man. Welcome to the program.
Man, it's good to be here, man. I'm out here in Greenville, North Carolina with these cows and these chickens, so the internet been spotty out here. My apologies, man. But hey, real quick, man, because there's been a lot of comments about us. Oh, these dudes not from here, they not from there. So I just felt like I had my warm-up on while I was trying to get in here, and I'm going to unzip my joint just to let you homies know the McKay House representative, Milwaukee Rufus King, class of 2001. Shout out to my sis Robin, who let me hold the shirt down. You know what I mean? So if you don't think we from Milwaukee, it's right here, big dog. It don't go nowhere. It's here too. We throwing bows tonight like Dame came out there throwing bows on Maxey. Is Maxey better than Dame? No, he ain't better than Dame. Not even close. He was cooking that boy. How many threes he had? 6, 7, 8? I can't even count no more, man. This a good win. It's a statement win. Joel, you want to sit out tonight? That's okay. You got to see a good game. You and Meek Mill sitting courtside. You saw your boys get cooked up. But Meek probably stayed at the crib because he was like, man, I ain't going out there to see them bums from the Sixers. But I'm going to tell you this.
Sip on the baby oil is what it was.
Well, Meek said, get up.
Meek didn't want to sip on that baby oil. We got to be careful now.
Get up.
Yikes. Hey, look, but what we talked about yesterday with you and Chris, man, it's going to be some role player that steps up, and I thought it was the Martin kid, man, and Kenyon Martin's son, too, but both the Martins on there, the dude that used to be in Miami and KJ Martin. But we came in there, we did what we were supposed to do, and that's all you can ask for from this Bucks team, man. So, and like Chris said last night, man, one last thing, man, that the rotations, I liked a lot of it, and I'm even more excited because we know we're near this peak, and this offense is, I'd say 65% installed right now because we still waiting on Khris Middleton to come back.
Absolutely, man. Well, number one, thank you. Bringing a lot of energy. I like the passion. That was for you, Cream City 1846. I don't know if you still in here listening, but I think that was directed at you, my guy. So there we go. Taylor Thompson talking about Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, letting everybody know they have great wings there as well at Curly's Waterfront. So absolutely make sure you get yourself out there. John Hassel says all 5 guys can ball. Everyone's strong with the ball and don't get pushed around. We're looking great this year. Daniel Joseph does talk about Khris Middleton ain't play again. We'll talk about Khris in a second. We'll talk about Khris and we'll talk about Joel Embiid and Paul George in just a second. I do want to get to another guy. There's just so much to talk about. Another guy I want to talk about that had an excellent game and balled out. And again, listen, I say this all the time. Please shut me up. Please shut me up because I want you. I hate when people think that somebody like, oh, you're hating on Damian Lillard. You're hating on Khris Middleton. You're hating on Bobby Portis. I promise you, I have no reason to hate. I want the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, I'm not one of those people that and there are people out there that watch their teams and they say this person sucks. This person's not good. This is to trade this person. And then they get upset when that person plays well because it's proven them wrong. I'm not that guy. I want the Bucks to win every single night. I want Bobby to win an MVP, if you will. But when you're playing bad, I'm going to talk about you. But listen, I'm the same type of guy that when you're playing well, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to praise you. And so Bobby Portis, 16 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 7 of 10 from the field, 1-on-1 from the 3-point line. I got nothing but good things to say about Bobby Portis. The mayor of Milwaukee, hey, listen, it's elected. I'm not going to get into it, right? But it's election season, Bobby Portis, and you're putting out a good campaign for the first game of the year. I was impressed. I was watching Bobby's playing well, shooting the ball well. getting himself open, making good decisions. And then I was sitting on, I was watching the game, and I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, yo, this is the, man, Bobby out there balling, right? And next thing you know, boom, he gets to steal back up the floor and I think dunks it home and lays it home. And I'm like, that's what I want to see from Bobby Portis. Make yourself an impact player on both sides of the ball. And again, it doesn't have to be, again, is he going to lock down somebody from 30 feet and slide his feet? No, he's not going to do that. But can you make the hustle plays, the impact plays that like I say, somebody being lazy with the basketball, I'm going to tip it to myself and go get a layup, go get a dunk. Making those plays are big, and I thought Bobby Portis was all over the floor, especially in that first half, especially in the first quarter, when the Bucks offense was not good in the first quarter. Bobby Portis was a spark that really got this thing going. And again, to appreciate him for doing that, and that's what we want to see all year long from Bobby Portis, because you know what I also didn't notice? I didn't look to myself and go, Bobby Portis scored 16 and he gave up 20. I didn't say that not once tonight. So a really good job all around for Bobby Portis offense and defense.
Agree with that wholeheartedly, right? We talked about this last year with Bobby Portis, and we was like, listen, if he's not out there scoring, he's not helping his team. But that's his role. That's been his role for the last 4 years, is literally come off the bench and give a spark to the team. And when Bobby comes off the bench and does that, it is infectious. That's the thing about Bobby that I think we all know as Bucks fans. It's that infectious energy. When Bobby's feeling it, we gonna cook. And you definitely saw that too. Again, Bobby Portis, BP, premium gas, Bobby buckets. I like that. What I don't like is when he plays like Bobby butt cheeks, and we do not want to see that.
How long you had that in the chamber? I like that.
Or Bobby Black Hole. That's what we don't.
Or Bobby Black Hole. Right. We don't want to see that.
So yeah, I mean, to me, I thought this is what we're kind of expecting from Bobby Portis at this point, night in and night out. You know, if you want to win that 6th Man of the Year award, if you want to get that respect, isn't this a contract year for him after this?
This is his. You saw him do the money sign. It's a contract year.
Yeah, so I mean that all plays into how Bobby needs to play this year. Like, we need him to be what he was, when we won the finals. We need him to be what he was last year at times. 50-50. Sometimes he was great, sometimes he was bad. But if this team is playing how, it played tonight, and the synergy is there, if the effort is there, then I think Bobby Portis has no problem fitting in. And there's so many mouths to feed on this squad that, I think it'll be hard for Bobby to even be too selfish. You know what I'm saying? Chill.
Hey, you know what? Here we go, right? We start unraveling at this point with those comments.
But yeah, I do think that there's some truth to that, though. Like, there's a lot of offensive talent on this squad that it might be hard for him to even, have those ISO situations. I saw it once tonight, by the way, but have those ISO situations where he just pulls and, he's a black hole and he's not looking for the open shooters. So.
Well, so the funny thing is, guys, I'm looking at this performance tonight, and I'm looking at a team who looks like it's gotten better than last year's team. It's improved significantly. None of us, we all kind of expected this. So, all the analysts and these folks who picked the Bucks to finish, 7th in the East or 6th in the East and everything else, I mean, yeah, y'all might want to revise that prediction, because I don't know where that came from, because this team, looking at how they played tonight, again, after one game, this don't look like a bottom 5 team in the East. It doesn't look like a team that's going to sneak into the playoffs. Come on now. It's early, but yeah. I think they got this one wrong.
Bob Myers out there talking crazy. That was half the problem. Right there was what I saw. Did we lose Justin again? Okay.
Yeah, we
all right, sorry. It's all right. Let's go to the Twitter and see what they're talking about on the Twitter at David Dunn 21. Elijah Price, our guy, says this is a statement, not a question. Defensively and touches wise, the best thing for the team. Oh, here we. How are we negative after a win like this? He said, "This is a statement, not a question. Defensively and touches wise, the best thing for the team is Bobby or Khris has to go." I'm just not even going there tonight. I don't know why we're going there. That Bobby or Khris has to go. We see a win like this with no Khris Middleton and Bobby Portis. I don't know why we're going like that. At the Wisconsin kid says Tauren Prince, major upgrades. Dame looks in shape. If we rebound the ball better, we'll be all right. I agree with that. Coach Bender says Brook Lopez finally making his presence non-wasteful is a sight to behold. At Braden Vollmer says Dame is back. At Brewmaster Murphy at T from Franklin says this has the chance to be the best supporting cast Giannis has had in a long time. And at RMill53 says, got unlucky on a lot of rebounds and second chance points. Giannis iso ball for half the fourth. Cost us some of our lead role players good. And I'll do a couple more before, a couple more before we get to something else. At Cam Amron says, this team has gotten much more athletic between Dame being in shape and adding Prince and Gary Trent Jr. It's exactly what they needed. And at Class and All says, Dame looking like Portland Dame, being more aggressive, whereas last season he played a bit passive for a player of his quality. The additions of Tauren Prince and GTJ are solid too. So again, everybody seeing some of those same additions. And go ahead.
Let me just interject here. And with the consensus being kind of happy that Gary Trent Jr. and Tauren Prince are here, and maybe DeLon right down the line. Like, we got to give the credit to John Horst. I know I've talked a lot. I've talked bad about him with his drafting skills, and but you didn't have much to work with this offseason. And for you to go out and get these kind of role players and get guys with high ceilings like Tauren Prince and Gary Trent Jr., I just want to make sure it's not unnoticed after game one that Horst did his thing this offseason.
But to be clear, Chris, I will say this. I do think that Horst has another move to make. I don't know, with a young guy maybe getting a bit of depth, but I do think that there's another move for Horst to make at some point during the season. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do think that there's another move. Is that Marjon Beauchamp? Whoever that is, right now? Again,
you can't get
that's the problem. You can't get potatoes from Marjon. Right, you can't get a parking pass, right? Not in a VIP lot for that. So yeah, but having said that, is it Pat that ends up getting moved and you end up getting assets? Who is it, right? But I do think that maybe there's another move for Horst to make this year.
And good question, because Hunt Jaculate, that's crazy. Hunt Jaculate says, I'm just reading the name. I would
have read that to myself before I said that. I'm just reading the
name. That's what they've said. Hunt Jaculate says, kind of going off the Portis contract year. Oh, this is a good question. But if he's performing at $6 man a year level at the deadline, do we cash in on that trade value or keep him? And to your point, JT, this kind of goes to what you were saying. You talk about Marjon, you talk about Pat. You're not getting, and that's one of the fallacies that we think about. Like, and I think a lot of people, when they put in trades and they think of, we can get this for this, you're not giving trash out and getting good players back. Like, that's not how it works. So you're not going to trade Marjon and get something. But if Bobby Portis, as Hunt Jaculate is saying here, is performing at a $6 man of the year level, is that then you can get something. Now somebody might say, okay, this might be worth it now if we get in a guy like this. And my answer to that, I want to hear your guys' perspective and thoughts too. But my answer to that is hell no. If Bobby Portis is playing like there, and again, I don't know how real the rumors are about Giannis, wanting out potentially. I don't feed into that. I don't know where they are on that kind of stuff. But Giannis has always said he will be in Milwaukee if he has a team that is competing for a championship and wants to win a championship and is showing they want to win a championship. And if Bobby Portis is playing a $6 man a year level and you trade the man, that tells me that's not what you're looking to do. So no, if Bobby Portis is playing at a high level, there's not a chance in the world I want to trade him. I go with what I got and finish things out and get to the and try to make the best of get into the playoffs and advance through the playoffs with Bobby Portis being that $6 man.
Listen. Now I don't, guys. It is not my. I'm not trying to be the turd in the punch bowl here, but hey, big fella, Giannis. Listen, you can't say that I'll be here as long as we got a team compete for champ. I need you to show up, big bro. Come on now, wait a minute. I need you to show up. That comment does not age well when you hear him. Oh yeah, I'll be here as long as we compete for championship. Where you at? Because when it's been go time, where you been at? What's going on? Like, I need you to be on the court here, and I get that. And I'm not trying to rehash the Olympics and playing in the offseason and everything else. What I'm saying though is I do need Giannis to be available for these playoffs, because right now we're getting all NBA performances. We're getting performances that are exciting the fan base. We're seeing how good this team can be. I mean, Giannis even earned chicken for the 76ers. He's adding all kind of value here, right, at the end of the day. But if Giannis ain't available in the playoffs, this team is only going to go but so far. So, man, I'm sensitive about this. Y'all know that. Those of y'all who was with us last year, y'all not new to this. Y'all know we true to this. Like, at the end of the day, Giannis has to be available for this team to go far, and Giannis has to take that accountability for being available for this team to go far. I don't want to see Giannis sitting out the first round again.
Yeah, you're right. And I also think that there's some truth to the statement that maybe you need to be good this regular season to kind of make sure you're not getting a really good first round matchup that can beat you if there is an injury. So yeah, we'll kind of see how all that works out with Khris coming back and incorporating him into the lineup and how this team plays with Khris Middleton back, because things kind of get a little shaky once you add another top three player on the team. But yeah, to answer your question, really, to me, Bobby Portis, would I trade him at the deadline if he's on a heater all the time and he's able to play at his best ability through the first half of the season? No, but the only reason I say no is because we need him. We need that type of scoring off of the bench, because really you look at it, there's still not really much scoring off of our bench, the back four or back five. So I think we need his scoring. I think we need his effort. But it is an intriguing point to bring up, because now I don't know how necessarily all the money works out with next year, who we'll be able to pay and all this stuff. Obviously, Gary Trent's on a 1-year prove-it deal, so we might lose some guys. If you feel like you need to free up some cap space and get some money, then I think that could be an option.
Now, at some point, I don't want to send us into a tailspin, but I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to tease it. But at what point, when you look at what this team offers, you look at Gary Trent, you look at Tauren Prince, at what point do you say, hey, Khris Middleton, maybe it's time for you to come off the bench? Maybe we want you running with that second
that's a
unit.
good question.
Listen, at what point do we say, look, we got a feel here, we got a groove with these guys, we got kind of the perfect personnel here. Hey, Khris, I need you to come off the bench and do what you do. Come off the bench and show us that mid-range jumper that's one of the best in the league here. At what point? Because you got to think that conversation, especially if you start getting if this lineup starts clicking like this, you start getting that synergy, that consistency, and you're like, man, this is the kind of looks that we're giving teams. We're giving teams hell on that perimeter defensively. You got Giannis and Dane Cook, and these guys are hitting shots. Why disrupt that with Khris, who, not to take anything away from him, but defensively, Khris ain't going to give you what either one of the dudes give you, Gary Trent or Tauren Prince give you defensively as well. So, again, let's not dive into this too much now, but that's just something to think about, I think, in the short term.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong at all. And I think some of that talk kind of started a little bit last year about what his role could be. And Hunt Jackley says, especially with Khris's health, him coming off the bench would be nice. Yeah, we started talking a little bit about that, but I mean, Khris is a sixth man, might feed families. I mean, that's what Manu Ginobili style, right?
Hey.
Where again, and he could be very effective, and that doesn't mean you lose minutes. That doesn't mean he can still play 30 minutes if one gets to play. But who knows? We'll see. That's a question for Doc Rivers and what he has going on 100%. And but we will stay on. I want to stay on Khris Middleton. And I want to stay on Khris Middleton. I want to talk about Joel Embiid, and I want to talk about Paul George. So we're moving into that kind of a conversation. All those guys miss. I don't know if you know, but the NBA is supposedly about to launch an investigation into Joel Embiid missing time. Matter of fact, I'll read it. I got a text from a guy, my guy in college, my buddy in college, one of my old roommates. This is what, and he's a big Philly fan. This is what he texted me this before the game. He said, unprovoked, I didn't say nothing to him. He said, hey, I'm not a Sixers fan this year, by the way, so don't send me no hate text. I'm not on the team. I'm out, just like Embiid and Paul George. I said, damn, why are you changing up? He said, I'm out for this season. I'm just not rooting for anybody. I've lost patience, and they're not being truthful. I said, wow, you lost patience on the process? He said, Maxey, I love him. I feel bad he won't have a healthy, competent team around him. And then he replied to lost patience in the process. He said, it's been 10 years. And so I think there is a group of Philly fans. There was an article that came out in the Philadelphia Inquirer that was scathing about Joel Embiid, talking about, because I think it was crazy. Joel Embiid he had a son, and he was talking about how, great being a dad. And I think in the Philadelphia Inquirer, they literally wrote like, yeah, if you want to teach us, part of being a father is teaching your son that you got to get up and go to work. Like, damn. So that was crazy. But I mean, there's some truth to that about Joel Embiid and about the process, which hadn't got out of the second round yet. And how do you come into the season? And so I'm probably talking about Khris Middleton. I didn't get Khris Middleton had 2 offseason ankle surgeries, but how are you not ready for night one? Like, how does that make sense? Do you think there was a part of this that was duck and smoke? We know that Joel Embiid has injury issues and health problems, but it's part of that duck and smoke that you don't have to bang up with Brook Lopez and Giannis down low. Do you not want to participate in those types of activities? And you're like, hey, I'd rather come back. I don't know who they got next, but I'd rather have a different matchup. But it's just interesting that you're not ready for night one of the regular season. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. We know Paul George had a hyperextended left knee. And again, but Philly's the team that's supposed to, you saw what Boston did last night. Philly's the team that's one of those teams that's supposed to be, talk about the list of where the Bucks are going to finish. Philly's supposed to be one of those teams that finishes top 3, top 4, whatever. And with their help, if you're not ready for night one, like, how are you, like, again, it wasn't a new injury. He's ramping up. Like, how are you ramping? How did you ramp up and we're not ready to have your first night of or at least part of your ramp start on the first night of the regular season? Like that, like what Mike Irvin said, we losing recipes. Like, you should be amped up, excited to go out in front of your home crowd, season opener. And it's like, nah, I'm sitting on the bench. I mean, if you're a Philly fan, that's a sore sight to see. But I also kind of want to bring Khris into it because he misses too. Do you feel anything there? Because I think there's a lot of the fan base that's like, I don't care. We're good. I don't want to see him till April, or I don't really care about what he does till April. But I guess that's, I don't know. I just, you guys take it wherever you want to go with the Khris being out, Joel and B being out for Philly, and those guys, and just the relative health or lack thereof coming into tonight for both Philly and Milwaukee.
So my thing with this with Embiid is something's up. Is it a mental thing? Is he a head case? Is he a mental midget? Is he Randy Moss? I play when I want to play. Is he like a musician where, you know what, the vibe ain't right, I can't go on stage, right? What is the deal with Joel Embiid? Because we've seen this song and dance so long. I don't have any answers at this point as to what the deal is with this guy. I really don't. And when he plays, he's one of the most talented guys in the NBA. But that when he plays really is when he plays. Like, it just, Trey, what's your best ability?
Availability.
Right. And what's your second best ability?
Reliability.
And you can't be reliable if you're not available. I don't know. But I do think that at some point, look, everybody's probably right. Does he want to get out of Philly? I mean, probably. Right? Does he want to go somewhere else? Did he have a kid? Did he change his life? Is he one of the best? Everything is true here. But none of it makes any sense at this point.
So I think I need some more context. Like, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this the guy who was just playing out in France with the United States men's basketball team in the Olympics, and he looked all right? Like, yeah, I'm not really sure. I would have liked to see, like you said, Trey, yesterday in our preview video, like, I would have liked to see Paul George. I mean, yeah, he just got hurt, but Paul George and Joel Embiid out there so we could see where we stack up. This just felt like an opening night to where it was like, all right, yeah, we wanted to win this game and against Joel Embiid and Paul George, but it kind of felt like a given after they were, ruled out. So I think it's annoying as a Bucks fan. But yeah, if you're a Sixers fan, it's got to be very concerning. And especially about the back-to-back situations. Like, is this a guy, like you said, JT, is this a guy who just plays when he wants to play? Is this a guy who has kind of let the noise get to him in the playoffs because he's not been available in the playoffs to where, all right, well, let me just make it to the playoffs so they don't have anything to say about me. I think he's a little insecure at this point. You see it all the time. He's on the troll Twitter and stuff like that. Maybe this is a guy who lets stuff get to him from the media, and that could very well be the case.
We got Justin back in the building.
I thought we had Justin. We got Justin?
Let me see.
Did we lose him again?
I can add him in a second.
I thought we had him. Okay.
Hold on, give me a second. Go ahead, go ahead, Trey.
Okay, I'll go till we get him for sure. I hear him.
Yeah, let me get it. Yeah.
You here?
Let me get his camera in. Go ahead, Trey.
All right, we'll get your camera. We'll get your camera in. Hang on one second. But yeah, I you're right, and that's the same thing we talked about with Giannis in the Olympics as well. I'd have been highly pissed off if I saw Giannis playing out in France and doing that and trying to advance with them boys, and you're not ready to go opening night. So again, I appreciate Giannis for coming out, being on the floor. Yeah, no, if I'm a Philly fan, I get it. Just like my guys telling me, like, that is a problem. Like, you can't tell me trust the process. There's no way that part of the process was go win a gold medal before you, with the U.S., not even with Cameroon or with the go because I can see it. I understand why Giannis is so pressed to go be a part of winning something with the Greek national team, and it's just this unique sense of pride and honor. Again, do I agree with it? No, I don't. I want Giannis to do everything that he can do to win a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. If especially when you talk about the injuries that he's had in the postseason, but that you don't even have that with Embiid. Like you can't. Maybe Embiid is the most patriotic person of all time. Maybe he is. Maybe when you go to Embiid's house, he has American flags all over through the drive. Maybe he does. I got a feeling that he doesn't. But if you're not like the most patriotic person of all time, like you didn't even like, I could almost see if you were going to play for Cameroon. Like I could see, okay, at least man, he had this. I got to do it for my country, for my fellow countrymen. You ain't even do it for you. You just again, I think he just wanted this sense, and that to be even more. You talk about a head case, JT. I think he just wanted the satisfaction of I'm a winner.
I gotta win something.
I'm winning. Yeah. Hey, what does that say? I'm gonna leave with something. I'm gonna leave with something.
Right. That's what they just said. Right. I'm from around the way. We'll leave with something. Here's the thing, though. Right. And here's the only question I got for all of you guys. Y'all, explain this to me. How the hell am I supposed to trust the process when I'm not seeing any progress?
Right.
How in the hell am I supposed to trust that process? Can somebody explain that to me? If I'm not, how do I trust that? That's just my thing, right? I think that process, well, we might have to change that thing up because it's not working at this point. It has not.
We got Justin back, so you can go ahead.
We got Justin back in the building.
So, Chris, I was over here standing on this hotel sofa, jumping up and down when you brought up that point about Embiid playing in the Olympics. I don't think the comparison for Middleton to what these dudes are doing over there is fair because Middleton spent his whole offseason having surgery.
It's true.
So he's not here. Yeah, we want him here, but like when we were talking about it in the pregame joint, we wanted him to be here in 2025 to be able to get this team over that level. And JT, him coming off the bench, I'm not even mad at it because it's never about if you start or if you don't. It's about how you finish the game. And I want Middleton on that floor when the game is closing out. So I'm cool with that too. But man, Embiid's a clown. Like he's just a clown. He has so much to say, but no substance to back it out. And, Trey, you hit on it the other day when we're talking about these exits and stuff like that. And everyone's talking about where's Giannis going next. But Embiid's never brought up. And he's had so many star players. Every time you look at a guy, from Butler to Harden, the list goes on and on and on. Different dudes in different cities making buckets. But when they're with this guy, he can't get a bucket, and they can't get past that second round. So I guess my question, not to throw a question back at you, but I learned from talking to two lawyers, is Embiid a cancer?
JT? I don't know enough because they keep it tight-lipped on if he's a cancer or not. But what I will say is he seems to be a bit of a black hole. I'll tell you that he seems to be a bit of a black hole. That's the girl you text and your life ain't the same afterwards, and it's not for the better. It's not for the better. I said, what happened to him? I don't know. He was dating her and he started tripping. I seen that man walking down the street just screaming, just yelling, just mad.
So he the Kim K of the league?
Right. I will say that. Now look, because okay, he's the black hole for players and he's the black hole for coaches. That's the thing about Embiid. Embiid, like if you go and you coach this man, your career's not gonna be the same. It ain't gonna work out. You're gonna be out that paint in 2 years max if you coach Embiid. If you're a player, you're gonna get traded in. You're gonna get traded right on out. Right? This just is not gonna happen. It's not gonna work out. And so to your point, Justin, is he a cancer? I don't know because it doesn't seem to be able to infect the rest of the locker room. But he certainly is. Is he a black hole where folks come to Embiid and things seem to go worse for them? I think it's safe to say that's accurate.
Yeah, he's a revolving door too. At this point, like the cycle just keeps going with Embiid. It's like it's the same thing. Yes, we've had Khris obviously had to ramp up last year too, and that's frustrating. But for Embiid to one, not have won anything, and then two, to be this big baby in the regular season and not play games, I would have to imagine that he's a little bit cancerous, at least to the locker room with some of these guys that have to pick up the slack for him throughout the regular season. You've got Maxey, as a young superstar in this league, that he's gonna have to go through the stuff that we talk about with Giannis and Dame, with Khris. He's gonna have to play these games. He's gonna have to carry a bigger load than he would have to if Embiid was available more in the regular season.
Hunt Jaculate says Embiid chose America over Philly, and I stand with him because it benefits the Bucks. Deshaun Hill, I think he was responding to your statement, JT, where you said, "Is this the how can I trust the process when I see no progress?" He says bars, and then Todd Merrill says, "Yeah."
Spend a little time in church.
Todd Merrill says, "Who's the new guy?" And I think he's talking about our guy Justin from NC. Justin, if you listen to 97.3, you listen to any radio, you hear him all the time calling in. Justin from NC, Justin Spurlock, right? His last Spurlock. I got that right. Our
government name out there.
My bad. Hey,
you gonna say his middle too?
I didn't know. Did he have a nickname? You want a nickname to go out there? Okay,
hey, Justin from NC.
Okay, my bad.
Nickname is just facts. There it is.
I'm cool with Skurlock. It's all right. I ain't running. It's Skurlock though.
Skurlock. See, I didn't even have it right. Skurlock.
Can I say one more thing? My bad. I don't mean to interject, but
of course.
When y'all were talking about trading Bobby Portis, look, this the Milwaukee Bucks, not the Milwaukee Brewers. We not trading someone that's playing on a high level for draft picks, for minor league prospects, and nothing like that. We got Jimmy Haslam money, so he better spend that money if he want to be in the mill. And we ain't trading nobody. Matter of fact, extend Bobby Portis right now and let my mayor get promoted to governor.
There you go. Colin Racine says, "Couldn't you say Giannis is a cancer for coaches at the same time?" No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
He got a chip.
Bud got himself fired.
He got a chip, and I gotta say there's some organizational dysfunction there. True. I don't know as much. What I will say to Colin Racine's point though, and this is listen, man. Giannis did get Anthony Griffin hired and got that man right about the paint 90 days later, after the regular season started, roughly a little bit over 90 days after the regular season started. That is embarrassing. I don't know if you call that a cancer, right? But there were questions about is Giannis a coach killer? Because again, what happened with Bud? But again, Giannis has taken his team to that Eastern Conference final multiple times. Giannis has won a championship and actually got it done. Mm-hmm. So I can't put him on the Embiid status, right? He's not something that's malignant.
Speaking of that whole situation, Trey, did we renew our source this year, or is he falling off the face of the earth?
He fell off the face of the earth because he got fired too. He got fired. Hey, I ain't gonna. Hey, listen. I just wanted to ask. I ain't gonna put his business out there, but if you go down the line and you ever figure out who was feeding me information, he was on the staff. I ain't gonna say nothing else, but hey, guess what? But he ain't there no more. He's
not there no more. No, look, I never had his number. He texted you. Yeah. So you're the only one that had that source in the Bucks building, in the Bucks locker room at that point. But
we
get another one though.
We'll get another one. We got enough people watching. Todd Merrill says, "What are you sipping on tonight?" What we say? Hey, man, you know me. I got the. I'm hitting a little wine with it.
For me,
little Stella Rose, baby. Little Stella Rose. That's all. Little Stella Rose. Nothing major. I'm
somebody granddad, so I got the Diet Pepsi cranking hard.
Let me tell you.
This caffeine going.
Let me tell y'all something, man. I just want to be clear with y'all because I like y'all fellas. There's never gonna be a wine night. We're not gonna ever have a binge wine night. Hey, y'all gonna come through with everybody drink some wine. Like hell no.
You're gonna have me with it.
You're not gonna do that. Your wives, your girlfriends are like, yeah, we had a wine night at the crib. Okay, fellas, we ain't doing that.
Yeah,
that's
a good idea. I don't want to do that. I don't want to participate.
Yeah, y'all want to have some white wine? I got a couple bottles of white over here. If y'all want to come drink some white wine, FOH. Play with me.
Okay, maybe on a night where they play like the Pistons, maybe we could do it. I don't know. Hey, Pistons like decent tonight. They lost, but
we can do champagne after that parade down Wisconsin Avenue.
Yeah, we can do something that's different. That's sparkling wine. Okay, now we cooking. But I'm talking about like I ain't coming over and opening up a red out of a box, fellas. I got some red wine. Y'all want to have some red wine? Hell no. Hell no. If I pull up to your crib and you pulling out the wine for the fellas, I'm not even taking my shoes off. Oh, I'll see y'all, man. I'll catch up with y'all later.
Say you're out of there. Speaking of drinks, you can get some drinks during all televised Milwaukee Bucks games. $3 bottles and pints. No wine, a little Michelob Ultra for you. Official beer sponsor Milwaukee Bucks at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You can definitely do that as they sponsor the show. Again, I want to make sure you know it. $3 bottles of prices during all televised Milwaukee Bucks games, and they're giving away tickets every Wednesday night and for bingo, Thursday night for trivia. I just want to add that in there. Go to Curly's, get you some wings, do all that good stuff. Have some fun out in Milwaukee. I want to get to let's go to some game balls tonight before we look around the NBA and the game ball. Oh, man, I messed up my screen. And the game ball for me tonight, I'll go first. Is gonna go to I really kind of wanted to do. I'm gonna just go Dame. I think I gotta go Dame. 30 points, 9 boards, 6 assists. He was all over the floor, 9 for 19, 6 to 12 from the three-point line, 6 to 7 from the free throws. Damian Lillard, man, just an excellent performance tonight. And really, like I said, from probably I guess midway through the second quarter, he just started cooking. Because we were texting like, oh, Dame not looking too high. It's not. I don't know what's happening. And then Damian Lillard just took his game to another level. The Bucks win it 124-109 behind a massive performance from Damian Lillard. That's my game ball tonight. Who you got?
I'm going with Tauren Prince. I thought that you can't have a better debut than that. He did everything right tonight. Was perfect from the field, played great defense, chipped it, contributed. It did exactly what we needed him to do when he came here, too. He is a tremendous role player at this point after one game for this team. I'm going with Tauren Prince, man. Have a game ball, sir, your first one.
Chris?
For me, I think a lot of people deserve the game ball tonight. But I think Gary Trent, with the work he did on Tyrese Maxey, I'm going to show Kyle and Ray seen some love as well because he agrees. But the work he did on Tyrese Maxey, knowing that he was probably going to be the primary scorer for the Sixers, obviously without Embiid and without Paul George, I think he deserves some love. And then, hey, it almost made a grown man cry when I seen him score with the ball in his hands. Like we needed that desperately without, not having Khris Middleton. And then, last year at some points it felt like the offense got pretty stagnant outside of Dame and Giannis. So for him to be able to score with the ball in his hands, create his own shot, I think that was good to see.
So I'm kind of in the middle between two guys, but I'm going to go with the big tree in the middle, Big Brook. I just feel like, you guys mentioned that with Maxey being held in check, and I know he sent a lot of his shots on and packing up to the other end of the court. And really, the thing about Brook, what we've always heard about him, is he can't get rebounds. He doesn't do it. He taps it to the other guy. He had 8 boards tonight, which for Brook, that's a huge night. But he really set the tone in the middle of that floor. If I had any honorable mention, if you all brothers will allow me to do that, it would have to go to, the mayor of Milwaukee.
Yeah, okay. So you got Brook and Bob. I like it. Everybody picked a different got everybody somebody different for the game ball. So good deal.
And you know what? Hold on though. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna give a game ball to everybody watching right now. We open this thing up, it's 10:30 on a Wednesday night, and everybody watching and tuning in and giving us this opportunity to speak about this and and share our thoughts about this game. We appreciate y'all, man. So give a game ball to all of our listeners right now, because certainly. We missed you guys, and we just appreciate y'all for rocking with us for season 2 as we were renewed, sponsored by Curly's.
There you go. Good stuff. Todd said he's drinking a brandy. He got a brandy Manhattan.
There you go, Todd.
And then he says Brook 5 block. Brook actually, I got him down here with 6. Well, no, yeah, 6 blocks. 6 blocks for Brook. 6 assists as well. Excuse me. The only thing I can say for Brook, if he could have shot the ball a little bit better, that'd have been nice. But again, great job defensively, and you mentioned it, going and getting rebounds. Absolutely. So good stuff. Breaking news out of, where is this? New Orleans, where DeJounte Murray fractured his hand tonight. So that's as we get a quick into the quick look around. Again, the Bucks win it 124-109 over the Philadelphia 76ers. 4 minutes to go. Grizzlies up 114-111 over the Jazz right now. Watching the Suns and the Clippers 47-39. Suns up. Warriors are up at the half. A lot of games tonight. The Pacers. How about the Pistons? Pistons look like they might be competitive this year. 115-109 Pacers win. Cavs win 136-106. The Magic get a dub over the Miami Heat. Terrible performance from Jimmy Butler. I mean, my goodness. Jimmy Butler had 3 points, 4 boards, and 5 assists. 1 of 8. My goodness. That's all that stupid stuff. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Butler. The Hawks win tonight. Pelicans win tonight. And the Hornets beat the Houston Rockets. How about the Charlotte Hornets beating the Rockets. LaMelo Ball 34 points and 11 assists, 8 rebounds in 37 minutes. How about LaMelo doing his thing there? Other things I want before we get up out of here and talk some more. Did you see last night the last night of the Lakers? What did you guys think of Bron and Bronny jumping into the game together? It's funny. I thought that it was one of those things where I don't want it. I want to say preface. I'm happy for LeBron that he got to have that moment with his son. Like I'm sure that is a great moment for a father to have with their kid entering the basketball game with him. Again, remarkable that LeBron is still in the league this long and playing at such a high level. He get his son in the game with him. Kudos to him for that. It was the only thing. It was manufactured, just because. And they have Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. It's not the same. I know what y'all trying to. It's not the same thing.
No,
it's not the same thing. Like y'all not doing the same thing.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing. But I will say though, for any of us, especially those of us, our listeners, everybody who got kids, I mean, that moment, that is cool. If you are your father, you got kids, you love what you do, being able to have that moment with your child doing the same thing, following in those footsteps, and being able to work side by side, regardless of whatever your trade or profession is, I think that's definitely something that's very, very special. And with I saw the Bleacher Report clip. LeBron was mic'd up and was like, "You ready? Yep. All right. You see the intensity out there? Yep. Okay. Do your thing. Don't worry about making mistakes, right? Like, and doing this and doing that." And you see, like, once a father, always a father, like literally just coaching his son up and out there and having that moment. I thought that was awesome, right? Now, on the flip side of that, I will say, though, I do think, though, as a father, one thing that everybody probably has to grapple with is at some points you're not going to be able to fight your kids' battles for them. At some point, they're going to have to stand up on their own. At some point, they're going to have to go ahead and venture forth and do that thing on their own. And you 100% have their back. But at some point, they're going to have to do that. And this is what I think about with the Bronny James situation is, okay, we got this moment. I love it. But at what point is Bronny going to have to show that he belongs and show that he's out there? Because it's great to have these moments in week 1, in week 2, in week 3, 10 games in. Is it a problem when the Lakers are battling for that last playoff seed and we still are trying to have these moments? Is it a problem when the team has lost 10 straight? Folks is looking at JJ Redick like, what the hell's the issue? You got other guys that you can bring in that can maybe contribute to give you a bit more, but Bronny James is occupying this roster spot. And, oh, yeah, he's going to keep playing because we're going to develop him, right? And that's maybe not in the best interest of the team. At that point, who feels warm and fuzzy about these moments? That's kind of where that's what I am concerned about as the season progresses.
Well, I'm hoping the adults in the building make grown people decisions about Bronny and send his ass to the G League where he belongs. Like, I don't think that this is something that's sustainable at all. You've got guys on the bench that are young, that are, I assume, talented. We know one of them, Quincy Oliveri, like the 2-way contract. Like, if at some point Bronny can't get in the game and score the basketball, if he can't impact the game, send his ass to the G League. Like what are we doing here? Like, there's great, you had the moment, cool. Now, for the best interest of the team, for the best interest of the Lakers and JJ Redick and LeBron, he needs to develop more. And I don't see that happening on an NBA court. Like, he's just going to get extremely passed up by everybody else.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that like the players start targeting him. They make it, hey, if you get one, I'm catching this alley-oop on this dude. I'm getting Sports Center top 10 on him. I'm doing it. I'm doing that, right? And then LeBron being the protective father, okay, so LeBron gets pissed off and he's trying to go at these guys for coming at his kids. But is that in the best interest of the team, right? Is that in the best interest? You gotta can't. Is that? I don't know. I mean, I just think the situation is like dynamite. You have to literally handle it with care and handle it well, because if you don't, it's gonna blow up.
You saw that last night. As soon as he came in the game, he tried to go to Ingles, and right away it was a switch to Rando, and he was barbecue chicken. Like, it just is what it is. But as a father, I mean, I tell you this, and a little bit of personal privilege, but my daughter's playing in the state tournament for North Carolina Monday and Tuesday this week. So playing this practice round with her on Sunday I'm good. Playing golf with my son or any of my daughters is amazing to me. But at some point, when I'm out here with these pit bulls, I'm not bringing my kids because I know you get your butt in there, you better get your butt out of there. So, hey, it's a great story, but like Khris said, man, I think he's a lot more. And G League, that may even be a stretch because we saw him get dogged during the preseason by some of those G League dudes. And them guys, their dad isn't arguably top 3 of all time, right? Their parents are struggling to keep the water and the lights on. So them guys going a little bit harder. So, hey, it was a great story. I think the best moment of last night was the picture with Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., and LeBron and Bronny. But other than that, as far as what he added to the basketball game, hey, Miss Crosby, please don't get mad at me, but he didn't bring anything to us.
I think you're right. I think Todd is right here when he says that they got it over with fast. Brought can go to the G League now. I agree with that. I think he's done what he does. It's over. The medical drug dealers telling us it's earn, not given. Earn, not given. Come on, man. He's again talking about 55th pick. He doesn't get drafted at all if he don't have James on the back. That's all I'm saying. And so that's the only thing. So again, he really shouldn't have been the 55th overall pick, but he gets it. So, good for him. Listen, I hope he becomes all that he can become. I hope he turns into an NBA superstar, but the fact he wasn't ready. And they let him, they let him get into the league because of his pops, and we'll see whether he's going to get his cut. He's going to have a chance to cut his teeth in the G League. I don't think you can keep him on the active route, with the big boys. Sit him down. Where they play at? What's the Lakers team?
South Bay.
Haven't said that though. Haven't said that. Let's say, right, you saw some promise in that last preseason game.
I didn't see.
You saw him out there bowling. He had 17.
It took him what? It took him all summer league. It took him all summer league in the last preseason game when nobody plays.
He got buckets in the last season. You're right.
What I will say though is maybe, just maybe, you see some drastic improvement in the first 30 days, 6 weeks. Maybe you do. Maybe you do at least see that. And then I think that's that gives everybody cover. If in the first 6 weeks he figures something out, and
what does improvement look like? What does it look like? What does it look like?
It gives him some cover. Well, it depends on the minutes that he's playing, right? If he's playing 4 minutes a game at that point, and he's getting a bucket or two, okay, right? You see something you see something there that gives everybody cover. That's the thing. Everybody's set this up for you to do, but if you can produce just a little bit, you're okay. The problem is when you get in there and, like you said, people switching on you and you're just getting banged on every single time, and it's just like, oh my gosh, Bronny James in the game is a negative whatever. That's where it gets uncomfortable for everybody, and people are like, all right, we got to do something. We got to force a hand here. But if he just can look like he can get in there and at least swim a little bit in the first, maybe he stays on the roster a little longer than y'all think.
Medical drug dealer is just wrong here. He says y'all can't say that because most players in the league, because of their parents, were in the league too and got connections. No. This isn't a boardroom. This is not a C-suite. This ain't an internship. No. When you talk about guys being in the league because their parents are in the league, no, it's because their dad was in the league, but they also are 6'7", and they proved it on certain levels. Let me say, Michael Jordan's kids didn't get into the league, and again, LeBron a little bit better of a father. We talked about that. Michael Jordan was out gambling, smoking cigars, and doing his thing. Didn't have time to drill a basketball in his backyard with his kids. He should have did a little bit of that. But my point is, no, that's not. That's just, again, those guys have played at a very high level. Like, look at all the. Name me the father son combo that played in the league, not together, but is in the league right now, where the kid shouldn't be there because that just does not exist. Does not exist. And again, the issue with Bronny is not Bronny. It's just that he gets a lot of publicity. And again, fair foul, he gets it. And so you have to talk about it, right? And this is somebody saying Thanasis deserves to be in the league. Well, that's another point too. But even Thanasis. The Thanasis got into the league before Giannis. The Thanasis, I think people forget that the Thanasis got into the league on his own by his own merit. Giannis was not a superstar when Thanasis got into the league. So yes, now he stayed in the league a little bit longer because of Giannis, but no, Thanasis got there on his own.
And at least admit this, whether you like it or not, Thanasis established a role for himself in this league that seemed to kind of work. It may not be what we expect from a basketball perspective. We might be like, man, but he did establish this role and play his part in the league. And I mean, yes, the elephant in the room is that Giannis wants him here, but there was what I'm trying to say is there was a bit of a value add with Thanasis in the picture. It may not look the way we thought it should look from a basketball perspective, but it made sense for the Bucks.
So real quick for the medical drug dealer or whatever, medical drug dealer, my bad, I don't want to say your name incorrect. Like, you're bringing up Steph went to Davis, and Steph single-handedly took down quite a bit of D1 programs, including my beloved Wisconsin Badgers. That was a top 10 team all year. He beat them by himself. It's not the same comparison. But what I want to ask you guys one question, and then I got a question for the medical drug dealer. I'm so confused. My bad, man. Internet all crazy. Now I'm flustered. Who is Khris Livingston's parents? Medical drug dealer. We don't know. But is Khris Livingston better? Is Khris Livingston better than Bronny James to you, brothers?
Absolutely. No. There's no question.
No.
Yes, he's better.
Huh?
Than
No,
Bronny
he's
James.
not.
John,
Yes,
come
he's
on.
better
Is not better than
Yes,
Bronny
he's better
James.
than Bronny James.
You know why he's not better? Because Khris Livingston adds zero value to his team.
You
Y'all
can't
gonna
just
sit
say
up
you
here
can't
and
just put
like,
everybody in the same bucket.
Well,
Everybody's
Bronny,
in the
what did he
same
play?
bucket.
4 minutes, 0 points.
No.
How is that value?
No,
How is that
you're not-
value?
you
How
can't
many
put
points
everybody in the
Khris Livingston
same
played tonight?
bucket.
How many points Khris Livingston played tonight?
Everybody's not created equal.
No.
Stop it.
I mean, listen, like, no, but like, you got to call it how you call it here. You guys,
No, he's.
on
you
what
can
argument
just-
are you gonna make that Khris Livingston is a better player than Bronny James?
I've seen him play. Yes, I've seen the man play basketball. And if you told me, my life depends on it, and I got to put, and you got to put somebody on the roster to do something, Khris Livingston or Bronny James, I'm picking Khris Livingston every single time.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I don't know. That's the thing. That's the argument I'm gonna make, because I've seen a season of Khris Livingston, and you're right. You have a lot more footage and gameplay than Bronny James, but at the end of the day, neither one of them dudes ain't really. I mean, like, neither one of them dudes adding value to that roster. They the same thing at this point. They dead weight at this point.
That's fine, but one is better than the other. They can be dead. They can both be dead weight. One is still better than the other.
Man,
like,
Trey,
there's no question about it. There's no question about it.
In this hand, I got the word happy. In this hand, I got the word glad.
No, they're not the same. They're not the same. Yeah, they're not the same.
Not at all. Well, and then Khris Livingston also got drafted on his own merit from his body of work at Kentucky.
That's the point.
You know, like, I believe they made it to the NCAA tournament. He was probably on one of those teams that got knocked out by like Oral Roberts or, St. Peter's or whatever. But still, he actually, played on a Kentucky team and actually made an impact. So it's like,
you could say the same thing about AJ Johnson. AJ Johnson's done nothing in the league right now. I'm taking him over Bronny James. I've seen them both play. I've seen both of those guys play. I'm taking AJ Johnson every day of the week over Bronny James. I don't care that he hadn't done anything in the league. I can look at him play when they do play. I'm taking AJ Johnson. I just am.
I mean, I hear you, right? But at some point, tomato, it's preference, it's different. Look,
it's not a preference. I'm watching them. I don't just prefer.
Well, listen, until they do something in the regular season more than Bronny James, I'm not going to say they are better than Bronny James.
Okay, well, I guess Bronny's not better than me either, because we both contributed nothing. So you're just as good as Bronny James as well.
Now we're just silly. Now we're just silly. No, that's clearly not how it works.
JT,
that's really not how it works.
JT, that's just a little crazy, man. Like, Livingston has proven the athletic ability. Summer League, G League, Bronny's proved nothing other than his dad is LeBron James. And I mean, shout out to the medical drug dealer again. I mean, you're comparing Bronny James to Steph Curry. Steph Curry is top 20, 15, 10, wherever you rank him of all time. There is no comparison. He may have got a scholarship. I don't even think that, Trey, you could help me out more with this. You're in charge. I don't even know if they do scholarships at Davidson. But Steph and Seth made it on their own, because we're talking about Del Curry versus arguably I'm a lot older, so he's not the greatest player for me. But some of y'all younger brothers, he's the greatest player of all time. There's no comparison to Seth, and Bronny. Bronny is, hey, I hope the best for Bronny. That's all I'm gonna say. But like, say he's Khris Middleton, like I wouldn't even compare him to AJ because he'd be more Tyler Smith. But there's no 55th players getting in the opening game where a game is still in the balance other than Bronny James.
Right. My man got in the game. That's how you know he's talking about this man got into the game for a photo op. And Todd says now if you ask me to compare him, I'll take Bronny ain't put up 83 in the crossover league.
Oh, stop it. Okay, now you're playing. Okay, now you're playing. Now you playing.
Bronny could not put up.
Okay, now you playing.
That brings me to a dark spot.
You say Marjon's a better player because Marjon put up 83 in a
pro-am.
No, Marjon is not.
Hold on, my question: could Bronny do it? Could Bronny put up 50 points in the pro-am? Absolutely not. He's not good enough. No, he couldn't. He's not good enough.
Shots he could do it. I think he could.
No, he can take all shots he wants.
Always hit or miss. They're either
If you leave Bronny in an open gym overnight, he finished with 5 points.
Who was in that pro-am when Marjon scored 83?
I don't know.
Thank you. That's my whole point. That's my whole point. It could have been them fellas you was getting fired with at Domino's. It's a pro-am. Come on, man.
I don't know that Bronny could give up.
Who the hell plays defense in a pro-am? Come on, bro. What pro-am you see people playing defense in?
Ain't nobody else put up 83.
That's the one where they have like MCs during the game.
And Bronny could put it up. That's what I'm saying.
Like this.
You playing right now.
I don't know that Bronny could do anything. I don't know that Bronny could do anything on talk about MCs on the N1 circuit. I think the professor would cook him. I think professor would cook him. All them boys, hot sauce, all. I take all of them over Bronny James.
N1 circuit. I ain't even seen. Did y'all have a pair of N1 shorts growing up?
Absolutely, but hey, I was on the mixtape was fire.
That's actually a little bit past my generation, but that's fine.
Go play basketball. I remember. Like everybody who's basketball head used to literally wear like 2 and 3 pairs of shorts around. It makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why everybody used to wear shorts underneath their jeans.
I used to wear shorts
jeans, yeah.
They had the ball. They used to do that, and then it was just a thing. People wear like 2 and 3 pairs of shorts. Basketball. I was like, I don't know why we did that. I remember it was a thing, man. It was a thing.
Because you had to be ready to ball at a moment's notice. You had to be ready to ball.
There was a point in time where wristbands were more popular than tattoos. And I remember that. I remember like tats went crazy in the mid 2000s and everybody was inked up. But before that, dudes was obsessed with wristbands. People have a wristband around their neck. They have one at the elbow. They have one on the wrist. It was nothing to see somebody with 4 wristbands on. Seriously.
Yeah. Let's we got off the rails on Bronny for a second. Let's get back on track here as we wrap this thing. The Bucks win at 124-109 over the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know if there's anything else you want to get on off time or anything else that you want to talk about. Final words on the Bucks beating the Sixers to start this season off. 124-109.
I got some stuff I'm gonna say for the show on Saturday, T's and Q's, but you know.
Okay.
Appreciate everybody joining us for season 2. It's gonna be a fun one. Hopefully there's not as much drama as we had last year with just so much stuff happening, firing a head coach, during the season and making some moves there. But yeah, look, I'm excited, and I thought I saw a lot from this Bucks team today that gives me some optimism about where our ceiling is. But just want to see this team continue to get better, and the new additions continue to get comfortable. And then, we get Khris back when we get Khris back. So should be good. And then Friday we'll be off. We'll be off Friday. Just everybody's doing something. Everybody's got something going on. But we'll be back Sunday with the show.
Scheduled rest.
No back-to-backs.
I just want to thank y'all 3 brothers for having me here, man. Love my family to death, but the only person in my household I can talk to about Bucks basketball after the game is over is my 3-year-old. And he's like, yeah, Papa J, Bucks lost or Bucks won. So that's great. But I do have one more thing. Just one more thing. My guy, Khris, man, you a good dude, man. You a dating dude. I got a little challenge for you as we close the show out, my brother.
All right,
so we got dating in Marquette, December 14th. Early Christmas present for me and the other Marquette people, because we're actually from the 414. And, because they say we're not from Milwaukee. But before I go any further, it don't matter where you're from, why you like the Bucks or whatever. If you rock with us and you fear the deer, we rock with you. So thank you to all the listeners. But my friend Khris, I issue a little challenge to you. Yeah. If Dayton basketball wins, you give me your sizes. I will buy a Dayton shirt and hat, and I will wear it for the post game immediately afterwards. Let's go. And I will do the entire post game like my beloved K-House shirt right here in Dayton stuff. If you do the same for Shaka's boys and the Marquette Golden Eagles, my friend.
Look, yeah, we'll get a virtual shake on this. I like this. I like this idea. And look, ever since, at least before they got scheduled, I have no ill will to Marquette. I actually do like what Shaka's done for the Golden Eagles. I like some of their players. Cam Jones is a really good player. I'm not looking forward to having to face him. So, yeah, I'm definitely down for that. I need some Marquette gear anyway. It's maybe it's foreshadowing of maybe Dayton getting into the Big East here soon, hopefully.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm glad y'all boys stuck the hats and shirts because buying shorts for another man is crazy. Okay. buying shorts for another man is crazy. So I'm all right with this because y'all stuck the hats and shirts. I like that. We good.
Okay, good. There we go. So y'all got a good on-air wager going. And, of course, hey, man, anybody want to join us out, we will be out in Dayton, Ohio. JT, you going to be there?
It's pending.
It'll be pending all the way until day before. Hey,
Dayton, Ohio. I'll tell you, if you're listening, watching this right now on Twitter, on YouTube, we will be in Dayton, Ohio, December 14th for Dayton Marquette. Gonna be a fun one. Come out and join us. We'll have more details as well as this thing goes on. But no, seriously, if you want to come out there, we'll be in Dayton. Myself, Khris, Justin, you gonna be there too, right? You gonna be there
for sure. We in there.
All right, we in there. Did
we get the Polish pipe bomb? Jeff Orlowski, is he going? Is he committing? Jeff Orlowski's coming through?
I don't think Pipe's going.
Pipe's not going? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Pipe's going. What'd you say, Khris?
And then also, I mean, for those that are in Milwaukee or those in Wisconsin that can't make the trip this year, and we'll have more information, as like I said, about potential live show this year, potential live show when they go back to Fiserv and play the Dayton Flyers the next year. So a lot of good things coming out of the Cream City crossover.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be absolutely be fun. Good stuff. Bucks win it 124-109 over 76ers. Hey, my last thought on that. Again, it's a good way to start. As I said earlier in the show, you can't go 82-0 unless you start off 1-0. So that's how I want to start this thing off. I'm glad to see Damian Lillard looking like he looked as he finished in Indiana, against the Pacers, where we saw him in the playoffs like a totally different player. And tonight we saw a little bit of that Portland Dame. We saw Bobby Portis play well, and again we saw Giannis. Where Giannis, I mean, again he was great, but it wasn't like Giannis had to be this dominant figure and you just relied on him for the win. And that's what I want to see more of. I want to see less reliance on, oh my God, Giannis, bail us out. And to me, this is a game, maybe it's opening night, but this is a game where you could have had a letdown against a shorthanded Philly team with no Embiid and no Paul George. Again, how many times we've seen the Bucks play down the level of their competition? Well, they didn't do that tonight. They went out, they took care of business. First quarter, even though the offense wasn't good, defense was swarming all over the place. So again, a lot of good things to see. And I believe they gave up. I mean, we talked about a lot of the issues that the Bucks had. The Bucks only gave up 6 points in transition. So that is a stark difference from what we saw last year and even into the preseason. So a lot of good things. If you're a Bucks fan, you're watching the Bucks, and they did their thing. As Khris mentioned, we are off Friday, so with no Cream City crossover on Friday. We do have an On Your T's and Q's Saturday. I'll be off, but I think John and Khris, you good for On Your T's and Q's Saturday?
Yes.
All right, so they'll be their normal crew outside of me Saturday for On Your T's and Q's, and then like I said, Sunday everything will be back to normal as we continue on rolling with this season. Again, one special shout out to our sponsor, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Lakeview Boulevard, Pewaukee. Make sure you get out there and enjoy yourself. Drinks, they have trivia and free tickets as well. 2 Bucks games, so you got to get out to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill on Wednesday and Thursday nights for trivia and for trivia and bingo nights. Outside of that, man, this is a fun way to start this
Real
one
quick,
off.
Trey.
Go ahead.
Just be on the lookout. We'll have a lot of content coming out, just short form stuff maybe JT and I, after we do On Your T's and Q's, we might do a recap video just on what we thought about Friday night. If we can do that. Okay. So just stay tuned, and then we'll see you guys on Sunday. We appreciate it.
Always pumping out content.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Always pumping out content. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Cream City crossover. We'll be here with you all year long, having fun. Again, appreciate everybody for joining us on opening night as the Bucks get a big-time win over the Philadelphia 76ers, 124-109. Again, appreciate everybody for watching. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Trey Crosby III.
JT.
Chris King.
Justin.
Hey, man, don't take